Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and this is Every Nicktoons Show Ever. Nickelodeon, when I was growing up, was always the network for kids. Every kid wanted it, every kid watched it. It was the coolest thing around. And when they announced that Nicktoons, cartoons specifically made by Nick for Nickelodeon, were going to premiere, it was an exciting, hugely impactful moment. And I was there, I watched it on August 11th, 1991, with the lineup of Doug, Rugrats, and Ren and Stimpy, and it blew my mind. It made my 90s in a certain way. It was kind of almost really the beginning of that 90s boom of animation, or one of the huge telltale signs that animation was going to be different in the 90s than it was in the 80s. And that kind of spirit has gone through Nicktoons this entire time. It's evolved from just being, Doug, Rugrats, and Ren and Stimpy. Everything from Fairly Odd Parents to Invader Zim to As Told by Ginger to Our Real Monsters to Avatar The Last Airbender. Even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has gotten in there to, of course, SpongeBob, and then more SpongeBob, and then like a little more SpongeBob. It completely kind of is one of those watershed kind of cartoons, and certainly these are specifically tied to a certain network, but there's a different vibe of a Nicktoon. Certainly they're grosser, they're weirder, they're not what you're expecting, but they kind of encapsulate kind of being like that great cartoon for kids that like gets it so perfect you kind of don't want your parents to know you're watching them because they're so funny and you don't think they'll really get it, even though they actually totally do. But in my mind, in the 90s and continued on to now, Nicktoons has that energy in it. To be specific about what a Nicktoon is, this is not every cartoon that ever aired on Nickelodeon. This is cartoons that were made by Nickelodeon to be a Nicktoon. There are certain things that are Nicktoons and there are certain things that are not. You should know the distinction, but one of the distinctions is, if it's not in this video, I can tell you it's not a Nicktoon. So there. So now, without further ado, here is Every Nicktoons Show Ever. Doug, Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy, Rocco's Modern Life, Ah, Real Monsters, Hey Arnold, Kablam, The Angry Beavers, Cat Dog, Oh Yeah, Cartoons, The Wild Thornberries, SpongeBob SquarePants, Rocket Power, As Told by Ginger, The Fairly Odd Parents, Invader Zim, Action League Now, Chalk Zone, The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, All Grown Up, My Life as a Teenage Robot, Danny Phantom, Avatar The Last Airbender, Cat Scratch, The X's, El Tigre, The Adventures of Manny Rivera, Tack and the Power of Juju, Back at the Barnyard, The Mighty Bee, Making Fiends, DreamWorks The Penguins of Madagascar, Random Cartoons, Fanboy and Chum Chum, Planet Sheen, Tough Puppy, Winx Club, DreamWorks Kung Fu Panda Legends of Awesomeness, The Legend of Korra, Robot and Monster, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, DreamWorks Monsters vs. Aliens, Sanjay and Craig, Breadwinners, Harvey Beaks, Pig Goat Banana Cricket, The Loud House, Bunsen is a Beast, Welcome to the Wayne, The Adventures of Kid Danger, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Pinky Malinky, Middle School Moguls, The Casa Grandes, It's Pony, and finally, Glitch Tex. Alright, so that was Every Nicktoons Show Ever. A few of those were shows that are technically Nicktoons but are on Netflix, to explain that distinction there, by the way, at the end. But in all intents and purposes, they are still Nicktoons. It's always amazing doing these lists. Nicktoons always meant a lot to me growing up. I want to give an extra special thanks to Ryan Walterson, who really makes these videos what they are and gives me these lists and helps me make them as good and make sure I pronounce everything and get everything right. So a big thank you to Ryan Walterson. He's a great guy. it was amazing to give tribute to Nicktoons because I watched so many of these incessantly growing up. And even to this day, I still watch a lot of SpongeBob. But who doesn't watch SpongeBob? That's probably most of its legacy. But I remember watching this thing start from just 3 shows on one Sunday morning and grow into this entire kind of crazy empire. And just from Ren and Stimpy just exciting me from being a little kid to still like seeing my daughter be excited by SpongeBob is quite a crazy arc. To see Nicktoons grow from just like this tiny little upstart to be an absolute fixture and a huge part of our popular culture. So that was Every Nicktoons Show Ever. If you would like to tell me what your favorite Nicktoons show is, then comment below in the comments and subscribe if you would like to. Nick, Nickelodeon.